Big up, everyone. Welcome back to another Manchester United match reaction over here on Cheek TV. This time, we're away from the Premier League and we are going into the Europa League, where Manchester United traveled to the Czech Republic to face Viktoria Plzen in a group stage game. And United prevailed and we get the win, 2-1 as the final scoreline. Not the prettiest of performances in the first half, particularly, but a completely different showing in the second half. And we are pretty much going to get into every single aspect of the game. But before we do that, please make sure you guys smash a like and also subscribe to the channel. We are very close to 600 subscribers and very close to our ultimate goal of 1K. So help us, and thank you for all the support for all the people who have given to this channel so far. So let's get into the game. 2-1 was the scoreline that it did finish. And first half, to also talk a little bit about the lineup and stuff as well. And I will be showing the lineup here on the screen too, so you can have a look pretty much anywhere around. But United played a lineup of Xerxes up front, along with Marcus Rashford and Amad Diallo in the 10. So we actually saw Amad Diallo for the first time ever starting as a 10 in this Ruben Amorim system, something that I have personally been calling for the longest time, simply just because that he has played exceptionally well in the wingback role, and a player of his quality and attacking quality, I believe, should be tried out in much higher areas of the pitch. And that's what happened today. So Ruben made the decision to start Amad along with Rashford and Xerxes. Would have gone with Rashford. Would have gone with Xerxes myself. Would have honestly gone with Rashford too, just with the hope that maybe he can try to gain some confidence and turn things around. But boy, was I wrong. And we're going to get into that right after this lineup. But the rest of the lineup was Malacia and Dallo playing as the wingbacks, Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes playing at the pivot in this team. And our regular back three only change really was at Euro, who didn't start this week. But we had Martinez, De Ligt, and Mazraoui playing as the three center backs, along with Andre Onana, of course, in goal. So that was the lineup. And the first half, like I said, not good at all. I think we only really had 2 shots on target in the first half, and just didn't look good. The left-hand side, which was more of Rashford's side, I would say, was non-existent. If we're going to get into player ratings and stuff like that towards the end, but I would give him a 0 today, because he just doesn't look like himself at all. I'm not sure if this is a form thing or whatever, but it definitely feels like a confidence thing. And there's been certain games where if he's not started off and he's not had a good game, I kind of just look at him and look at his like posture and his body language and how he's moving like without the ball too. And today was a big sign of like he has no confidence. And he got taken off at the start of the second half, or pretty much like a little bit into the start of the second half, and rightfully so. Xerxes was honestly the only one, I would say. Him and Amad were really the only ones in that first half who were trying anything offensively. Defensively, no issue at all. Like, we don't really have an issue in most games under Ruben Amorim. Structure and stuff, everything was there. The way that we were moving the ball normally was there. It was just more so, again, execution of these players and application as well. So Bruno Fernandes, as much as you guys know, I don't rate him, and I say this from time and time again, in that 8 role with Casemiro, it just doesn't work, because there were a lot of instances where Bruno Fernandes was just hoofing the ball for whatever sake it was, instead of trying to build up. And what we do best and how we've created a lot of our goals so far this season has been through that. And we didn't really see much of that today, especially in the first half. So first half ends. And then at the start of the second half, obviously Onana makes an absolute howler of a mistake. Not sure what was going through his head there. We've not had an issue playing out the back at all under Amorim so far. And if anything, I've been a fan who even last season was very concerned of us playing out the back. And under Amorim, I've still felt safe in a sense, if that makes sense. Like, I haven't been worried because of just the way that he positions every player when we do play out the back, right? So I haven't had an issue with that. And most of the time, in the case where Onana did make a mistake today, you often see him just hoof it and clear it out. But the one time where he decided to try to play De Ligt, he gets caught out by a Viktoria forward who just squares it, and it's an open net for the players. So they go 1-0 up. I'm absolutely fuming, because at that point, I didn't think Viktoria really deserved anything from the game. But they go 1-0 up, and I'm looking for a response. And boy, did I get the response that I wanted, because from that moment when the goal goes in, we look like a completely different team going forward. So just to say some of the changes that he brings off Rashford, he brings off Dallo, he brings off Casemiro, he brings off Xerxes, he puts on Højlund, he puts on Antony, he puts on Mount, he puts on Garnacho. Amat stays, so he played a full 90 minutes. And we finished the first half with 2 shots on target, but we finished the game with 8 shots on target. And though that should just tell you the amount of chances that we created. The changes that he made with Antony and Mount and Garnacho and all those guys, instant impact, especially with Antony. I think a minute after he made the change, we ended up scoring the equalizer, which was great stuff by Ahmad, great stuff by Antony too, but playing the initial ball. But it was all Ahmad who kind of like megged his player, one past the guy, and he tried to score himself, but it rebounds and goes to Højlund, who ends up tapping it in to make it 1-1. And then from that moment onwards, like, we looked like the much better team. We pretty much kept 70% possession all throughout the game. And in the second half, I think Højlund had an absolute sitter of a chance that he missed. It was across from Bruno, right across goal, and he was like, I'd say maybe 2 yards out away from the goal line, and he absolutely missed. Mount had a good chance where a great pass was played to him by Amatu, and he absolutely missed. I wouldn't even say missed; it was just straight at the keeper. Had another chance after that too, didn't score. So we created an ample amount of chances, but the winning goal did come very late, which was from a free kick that Bruno Fernandes played into Rasmus Højlund, who great pass and great finish. Like, I have to credit them both for that. And ultimately, we deserve the win. And I'm happy that we are able to get the win over games like that too, because one of my biggest concerns under Amorim, not so much from Amorim, but more so much from these players, is that they fold when things start to get tough. And sometimes even a 1-goal lead feels like a very big mountain to climb. And today it didn't really seem like that. I think we as a team responded very well in that second half. And credit to Amorim for the changes that he made, even though some of the changes are not the ideal changes that some of us United fans would have wanted. But this is the reality of just who we have in our team. And these are the like of players that we can bring on in a game to try to change things up. Not saying that we'll always have success in that, but Amorim at this moment, it's a results business. And even though performances might not be the greatest, you have to find a way to get a result. And speaking of which too, the Europa League is something that I think we should prioritize, as I feel like it is our best way to get into Europe, because I don't think we'll compete in the Premier League in terms of getting top 4. I think it's too late for that, and the damage that Ten Hag has left us with is too far to recover from in terms of a top 4 race. So our best avenue to get into Europe is the Europa League, and also a trophy. What a statement that would make in terms of Ruben Amorim to win a trophy, win the Europa League with not even his players. And I think we are well capable enough to get to the latter stages, and from there it could go anywhere for any team. Because I feel like in order for you to win cup tournaments like this and big European tournaments like this, you require a little bit of an element of chaos and luck. But at the same time, I think this team is well capable enough to get to at least a quarterfinal or a semifinal stage, and then we just go from there and see what happens. Other than that, I would say, good performance in the second half, particularly. Great way to respond to the howler that Onana made. And I want to see a similar lineup against Manchester City. I think people were asking me on Flawless's watch along. Shout out to Flawless, and make sure you go subscribe to Sarcasm City TV on YouTube and on the playback. My preferred front three would honestly, I would bench Rashford because I didn't think he had a good game today at all. So I'd go with Xerxes, Højlund, and Ahmad. I think I'd play Xerxes in a 10. Second half, Xerxes looked very good. All games, Xerxes looked very good. And Højlund, credit to him, even though he missed a sitter and he should have scored and should have done better in a lot of instances in the game, he got the winner, and it was a tough goal to score, and I have to give him credit for that. So I think based off of his goal scoring for him, he should stay. And Diallo is just Diallo. I don't even need to say much about it. He is literally the best player every single time on our pitch going forward. So well done from United. We move in the Europa League. I think by the end of today, we should be near and about the 8th spot in the Europa League. So good progression in terms of that. We are still unbeaten in the Europa League as well after playing, I think, maybe 5 or 6 matches. I think it should be 6 matches, but we move. Now our focus is on Manchester City, which I do think if we do set up the correct team, we could get a result. And looking at how Manchester City have been playing too, losing to Juventus yesterday, that team and a result is definitely there for the taking. So let's see how we do on Sunday. And you'll definitely get a match reaction for that, of course, as well. And watch along will be on Sarcasm City TV, where I will be there alongside Eddie and some of the other United guys. So that's it for today's match reaction. Big up to everyone. Thank you guys for all the support so far. Don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to like the video. And we'll catch you all in the next one. Big up and take care.